Welcome back to the live show.
Hey, Mick, we're done. We're ready.
We're ready.
Actually, I'm excited about today. You know,
yeah.
It's not that I wasn't excited about last week, but I'm still excited from last week and.
Well, this is an exciting topic. I mean, let me just put the headline and I'll take it off again. So we're getting to be a little bit edgy. We know you make money, but why don't flooring companies make enough money if we don't want to be offensive? But we're going to be talking about
we are offensive. What are you talking about?
What?
We are offensive.
Well, you're a little bit more direct than me in terms of your offensiveness. You got less patience than me.
I got nothing, zero.
All right.
Yeah, let's make some money. That's what we're all about.
All right, let's get into this because we know you're all busy and you want to make more money. But the reason we picked this topic is that Andre and I have been behind the scenes. Look, we know what the industry benchmarks are. They say operating profits about 4%. But Andre and I have been behind the scenes in over 60 flooring companies, and we've seen the real truth. And us, we are flooring by the numbers, and we love the numbers. So we've been inside the financial statements to see the real truth. And the real truth, Andre, is we found operating profit to be at what level?
Well, yeah, not exactly the 4% that everybody talks about.
It's more like 1 to 2%, right?
Yeah, it's usually thin. I mean, of course, there's always the exceptions, but we're talking about the general. It ain't 4%. I mean,
so that's the the first marker of in terms of our conversation today. The second point is it doesn't have to be that low. We've worked with and helped companies get to operating profits in excess of 10% in commercial flooring companies. Absolutely achievable, isn't it, Andre?
And sustained. I mean, that's the big thing. We've had a few great successes and then back to the bad habits. But we've had some really good examples of sustained profitability. At least guaranteed over the 8%. So
right.
That. And some even well north of 10%. So it is doable. And Mick, here's the big thing that we got to really want to stress today is that the organizations that have delivered those types of numbers, the north of 8, the 10 to 12%, don't have anything very special, nothing different to those organizations versus the others that we are seeing with very, very low profit margins. So, I don't want people to listen and say, well, yeah, there's those, those very big exceptions and they most probably got some superstars and they've got this and they got that. They got nothing, but they got a 10% profitability. That's what they do have,
right? Yeah. So we wanted to tee this up. I have a little slide for you here. We only got 2 slides, so don't anybody freak out.
It's absolutely obvious you're a golfer. We want to tee this up. I mean, that is only a damn golfer would say that.
All right, you remember our expression: revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. And today we're not going to be talking about vanity and revenues. We're not going to be talking about the king and how you manage your cash and your cash flow. We're going to help you restore your sanity by getting your profit margins up. So we're going to be talking about profit. I just wanted to show you this slide because why is it so important? I know you pay yourself a decent salary. You've probably got a bit of a distribution. You're thinking, well, I'm not doing too badly. But here's the issue, right? On the left-hand side of this slide, we've got what we call the money-making machine, which is your income statement, which takes revenues, and by the time you've had all of your costs and distributions at the bottom, you get something called retained earnings, which is that rocket fuel in that gas tank there that then goes into your balance sheet as equity. Well, if your operating margin is so thin that you've only got a little bit to put into the wealth creation engine on the right-hand side, there's only 2 ways to fund the business: debt or equity. So if you're not building equity, right, in order to finance your business and to keep sustaining your business, you're probably going to have a high debt load. So if you're not getting your operating profit, you can't take that debt out, and you're carrying probably a bit more risk. So the implications of sustained low profit margins are, problematic at best, right?
Mick, absolutely. I mean, look, there's a couple of small points that we've just really got to, because I just want to make sure that everybody is feeling a bit comfortable here. Number one, we don't have a problem with debt, right? So it's not that debt's bad, but there is the distinction between good and bad debt. So the first thing that we've got to, really sort of identify here is we'll talk about the whole debt structure and why is debt good and bad. That's for another day.
Yeah.
But today, what we're wanting to do is to make, take the investment that people have already made and maximize the amount of profit that investment creates, okay, or can create, shall we say, right? And I mean, there's no good reason why you shouldn't be doing this. There really isn't. And yet it's right in front of us. There are real ways of getting there, and the change in the way that you can, how could I say, benefit from your business with that additional profitability just makes life so beautiful, and that's what it's all about.
All right, so I know you've done a lot of preparation because you gave me a slide, which is the next one. But
no, you always tee me up. I mean, I promise you now. Everybody knows. Okay, this is going to be Andre's slide, and you're just teeing everybody up to put me right.
I got really excited when you sent me this slide because we're going to give you 4 ways, right? We're going to show you where money escapes, where your profitability is escaping in your business, and we can plug those holes pretty easily. So, I'm very, very excited about this next part of the conversation. So let me tee up the.
Are you going to tee it up again?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. There's the slide.
Lovely, Mick. Lovely. All right. Well, we really thought, between Mick and I, when we sat down and we said, okay, look, we know that there is this opportunity and it's real. We know. So those are the 2 things. So there is the current performance and really where we should be as a commercial flooring organization, right? Okay. So that's our passion. It's great business and it can make the money that you deserve. No doubt about it. Right. And 4 reasons, hey, Mick. And so, Mick, I'm actually going to ask you to introduce reason number 1, because this is one of, when we started getting into this whole environment, Mick really, uses this as well, not only in the way that we optimize the profitability, but really it ingrains us within the sales environment as well. So, Mick, tell us a little more about reason 1.
Yeah, so it's really about erosion, right? So your team Vanity, they've gone out, they've bid, the estimating team have done what they needed to do. You followed up on the bid, you won the bid, and you actually did a pretty good job of getting it at a decent margin. And then comes delivering the project. And what happens is when we deliver the project, sometimes we deliver the projects really, really well and we make more money, and sometimes margin gets eroded for various reasons and we make less money. And so what we found is that margin difference between, doing it poorly and doing it well can be somewhere between an additional 1 to 3% to your operating profit. So it's massive.
And sometimes even a lot greater than that.
Right.
We've extracted nearly 60% in one area. Yeah.
Yeah, we call that red light management, because those are the projects where there's a flashing red light which says, hey, our costs are going out of control on this project and our margin is being eroded. That's why we call it red light management. And it is a fertile ground in your organization. So systematically, we need to go and get after that. Right, Andre?
Yeah, no, and Mick, we're also going to discuss, because really, the thing that I'm you're excited about my slide, right? Okay,
I love your slide.
Okay, so that you can just see the differences in our personality between what you get excited about and what I'm going to be excited about. I'm excited about our the way that we're going to do this for organizations. And Mick, you're going to talk a little more about our academy, okay? And but now we've got something that's real, that people can participate in groups, hey Mick, in groups, and really get this benefit and use the dynamics of the group with a little bit of friendly competition to ensure that, hey man, we can't be left behind. So we're going to use these groups, and you're going to talk more about that going forward. But yes, the whole issue is, what the biggest problem with red light management is, we don't distinguish between the difference between red lights and green lights. So we look at red lights and green lights all in one nice little cozy bucket, and we say, well, you know what, we're sort of delivering okay. It's close.
So a green light project is one that it's performing to our standard. We're managing our change orders, we're managing the client, we're managing the GC or the end user, and we know when we get to the end of that project that we're going to get our sold margin. So that's called a green light. The red lights are where we're off course, and when they're in one bucket, all we see is this kind of greeny amber. So we don't get too excited about it, do we?
Yeah. I love your greeny. Nice, very cool.
We call it the rainbow bucket. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't motivate you to get in and to intervene before things get totally irretrievable.
Yeah, and Mick, the other thing about, and reason one, because we're not going to go in depth in all these things, but what happens is the way that we deliver our estimate, right? So some of us deliver our estimate with a whole bunch of fluff in it, right? And at the end of the day, our project comes in on budgeted margin, but we've just destroyed all the fluff value. And then others, have no fluff, and the project either goes red or green or whatever it goes. So and really, if you look at it, even within the same organizations, one salesperson has a bunch of fluff in their estimate, another one doesn't. So there isn't even inconsistency even in the organization. And when you start ironing these wrinkles out, suddenly you start seeing how there is a great opportunity for improvement, because it is difficult to manage the job. And remember, what is our mantra? Every job is a business. And when we consider that to be the case, suddenly, it's not just the bucket as a whole, it's the attention to every job. And it makes a significant difference.
Yeah. So what we're saying is you need a system. It's quite a simple system of separating out, red lights and green lights, and having a management dashboard that tells you where you are so that you can intervene intelligently. And we're not going to tell you how to do that today. We'll talk about our new flooring academy, where you can go and get those implementation techniques. But that's what you want to be thinking about in terms of making sure that money does not leave your business.
Right.
Okay. What's number two?
Okay. Small job portfolio. Oh, this is the most juiciest thing, because to me it's so obvious. It's just so obvious. And really all we're talking about are every one of us have the small jobs, the medium jobs, the big job, whatever. But when we just look at our small jobs and we say, what sort of margin are our small jobs producing? And I tell you what, Mick, we'll give this away for free. If the one thing that people do is say, listen, from now onwards, every job under X dollars, $10,000, shall be sold at 35%. There.
Yeah.
And something, here's the unique thing about this, Mick. Everybody believes, I'm going to lose my shirt. I mean, this is an expensive shirt, I can promise you now. And, I mean,
it's nice you've got an expensive shirt. I'd go out and buy an expensive iron too.
I love it. But you know what I mean, Mick? It's one of those things that that is just it's obvious. It makes a significant difference. And small job portfolios in or at least the proportion of small jobs can be quite significant in many of our organizations. We just have a different focus around it, and bang.
And our experience, this isn't a hypothesis, this is what we've seen, that this is worth between 2 and 3%. I mean, it's easy money.
Easy money.
I like the expression, people tell you, well, I'd like to have a little bit of a loss leader to get into an account, whatever. Loss leaders lead to losses. Don't do it, right? You don't want to mobilize all those resources and installers and the whole engine to deliver those small projects if you're pricing it at the same rate as you are in terms of a competitive bid at 20, 21, 23%. You want to be 35%, 50%, right?
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Right, reason number 3. Hey,
number 3.
Right, that is our end user portfolio. We have hammered this thing, we have beaten this drum, and we will never stop beating this drum because it is so valuable. And really, we just see the lack of attention to it. It exists in every single market. There's plenty of it, and we know that the margins on these end user stuff is very, very good, and no retainage, none of any of that, and there is 1 to 5% there with a little bit of focus and a couple of techniques, and it's substantial.
Hey, and if you go to our website, flooringbythenumbers.com, I think I've even got a if you go to our website, you see at the top there, under shop, there is a course under there, our end user course. Absolutely fantastic course to enable you to market and be successful with end users. So check that one out, because having end user work is like an annuity. Those end users keep coming back time after time after time. So you got to.
And then, Mick, what a great course to give potentially the green guys that are coming into the business. That is a fantastic solution for them. Right, getting there. Number 4, Mick. The number 4 is our bad job portfolio.
Oh, this sounds nasty. This one, Andre. Tell us about this one.
This is my fun bucket, because when you always get in every period of time, let's call it a year, even a quarter, whatever the case may be, there's a bunch, it could be 1, 5, whatever it is, jobs that have really gone bad, and nobody wants to talk about the bad jobs. Nobody. It's just like, well, there's always a story to that. Let's move on to the next topic of the conversation, right? Okay. And we've even stated this on the show, and hopefully we'll keep stating it. But what we are finding is that many of these, let's call them jobs that have gone south, or whatever the descriptive, words around this, is that these jobs, essentially, a lot of that is preventable. And it's just, what happens is we are in execution mode, but we're not in execution excellence mode. And that the difference between the two is between 2 and 4%, and that is always.
So Andre, just for the audience, can you just explain the difference between the bad jobs and the red light jobs, just so people are clear on that?
Right. So bad jobs are jobs that we know are not, we're not performing against, right? Red light jobs are just jobs that we've delivered, which is an expectation. The expectation is usually the estimate. And, we've delivered it either at estimate or a little bit better or a little bit worse. But a bad job is a job we know has gone wrong, right? And for whatever reason.
And what would be the easiest, because it's got a nice 2 to 4% opportunity set there. What would be one of the things that the viewers should think about in terms of avoiding those bad jobs?
Well, the strange thing is, Mick, that in the main, this bad job, unfortunately, is more prevalent with the larger the job, the more prevalent we see bad job delivery, right? So and really, we've spoken about it. We've even had a big job management. What do we call it? Show that we've had. Is that right, Mick? I don't know.
Yeah, big job team. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that really we are strongly recommending is the big job team. The big job team was probably the most powerful form. I mean, it was just so interesting. I even Mike from DSB spoke to me yesterday and said, "Hey, I've got some exciting things to tell you. We're really getting great outcomes from our big job team strategy." And it was just so pleasing to hear that, because them as in others have had some difficulties with some of these larger jobs, right? Not all larger jobs, but this is a great way to mitigate that strategy. So if there's just one technique, big jobs team to deliver good jobs, not bad jobs.
All right. Well, if we add those numbers up, and I'm glad you did it for me. That range of, if you tackle these 4 areas, and it's not rocket science to attack these 4 areas and quantify what that is, it's between 10 and 19% of additional margin points. I mean, that's huge.
Well, so additional margin is between 6 and 15.
So 6 and 15 added to what is supposedly the average. It's probably a little less. And your profitability could certainly be in the teens, and we've seen it. Yeah,
no, this is not something that that we, in the beginning we thought maybe there's a bit of a fluke, but this is something that's real, and we really want to start pushing this hard now, because for those people that are serious about making some good money from their business and their risk, this is the right thing to do, no doubt about it. And in addition to that, Mick, we've even got a little bonus one.
I was just going to say bonus. I'm saying the word bonus. Tell me about the bonus.
Yeah. So the other area that we find now, this is something that we also want to stress, Mick. Our way of doing things is we believe in aspirational improvement, right? So we are not in the business of trying to reduce headcount as a way to make more money. We don't believe in it. It's not long term, and all those good things. So, but what we do see, Mick, is that we've spoken about this often, is just the incredible amount of waste that is inherent in our current processes. The disparity of using so many different systems that don't talk to each other, and the duplication and all of these things that happen. And then also, in addition to that, I want to just throw in one thing, what I call work focused dysfunction, where we, a lot of us are focused on basically doing the wrong things, and not doing the things that really matter. And look, okay, I with all forms of transparency, we've not been able to quantify that exactly. My just brief assessment is that it could mean somewhere between 1% and 3%. But what we do here, Mick, is obviously we try.
So Andre, let me just step in here. I know you've got 15 years of experience in flooring companies, and you and I have been working together 5 years in flooring. But for the 25 years before that, I was working with Fortune 500 companies. And, their goals every year are to increase their efficiency by somewhere between, 5 and 10%. And if you look at all of their processes, there's 25% non-value added activity in any business. Now, you can't get all of it, but each year they chip away and they chip away at that. It's big, but it requires, you know, a discipline and an implementation approach. And we have all of those, you know, techniques. So those are the areas that we've talked about. Now, what I wanted to share with you is we've taken all of the implementation successes Andre and I have had, you know, within flooring, and we've housed them into our first of all, you know, in terms of benchmarking, to find out where you are, you can go to our website, flooringbythenumbers.com, and you see at the top navigation bar there, the second one in is benchmark. You know, click on there and you can get your commercial flooring benchmark report. It's got more relevant information than any benchmark that you can find for commercial flooring. But the thing I wanted to stress is that first button, the Flooring Academy.
Yes, there you are.
And this, the Flooring Academy is what Andre and I have been working on, which is where we house all of the implementation techniques, disciplines, and it's an academy you can join where, you know, every week new information's coming in. Every month we run, you know, live workshops. We show you how to implement these ideas to get those improvements. And next week we're going to go deep into what the Flooring Academy is about. But I just wanted to tell you that we've practiced what we've preached. We've delivered those profitability improvements. They are available in your business, and you can access those improvement techniques in the Flooring Academy. So go to our site, flooringbythenumbers.com, and take a little look. And next week, you know, we will go into a little bit more detail about how the academy works and what you get involved in that. Well, we're very excited about the academy, aren't we, Andre?
Yes, no, I mean, Mick, I think this is, you know, in today's world, this is, it's a practical way to engage improvement. And yes, we will be doing this in groups of people. So I think starting part. So a lot of times we get, you know, we know the other people that are going to be part of the thing. So, you know, we can, you know, have, you know, both shared best practice, you know, formal and informal, which is, you know, really nice. And, you know, to me, I think the ability to be part of this is very motivating in itself. So, and you know, so from you know, some of the comments we've got is, he said, hell, you know, this is about time. So I am excited by this.
All right. But if you don't like me and Andre, don't join.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh man,
no, I included me in there, but no, we know what we're doing. In you know, we've been in this business for a while. It's a great business. We love you, and we know how to make your lives easier and make you more profitable. So hope those profitability tips worked for you this week, and tune in next week for the academy. So we'll see you next week.
There you are. Thank you so much. Good job. Thank you.